Lights out and away we go. And Nico Rosberg at the front gets a good start. Now on board with Sergio Perez. He seems to have got a reasonable start. He's a bit tentative going into the first corner, making sure he has no attack from behind. Massa's right behind Perez. Now as they head down to turn 13. Now to turn 14, they're side by side. But Perez is able to defend the position on the hard tyres. And here comes Kvyat, who's able to get down the inside. But now Perez is able to switch back to the inside to head into the cave. But there's a bit of contact. The way he forces Perez onto the grass. I'm not sure what he's doing there. He has to raise the line. And there's contact. And both have spun, or both have been held up. Despite being reeled in by Daniel Kvyat quite a rate onto the down front wing. Perez is going to finish in 8th place.
The time has come to start today's practice session, which will be in typically wet conditions here in Kuala Lumpur. The excitement and disappointment of the last race will soon be forgotten as the teams focus on getting the most out of their cars. So after the first race, how do you think this season will compare to previous years?
Well, I hope that we're in for a fantastic season. The Mercedes team have certainly come out of pre-season testing the strongest, which is all well and good, but it's the racing where the pace really counts. It's always difficult to predict, therefore, who's going to come out on top.
The new regulations for this year say goodbye to the somewhat unique nose designs that we saw on the 2014 cars.
The 2014 changes were brought in to promote safety, but I don't think it was anticipated how the teams would exploit the regulations. This year, those regulations have been tightened up to give us a more traditional look to the noses on the 2015 cars.
Hey guys, what is up? It is Matt T Gaming HD here with the second episode of the Checo's Charge to Glory series. And as you can see, it is raining in practice, but we are expecting it to be dry for qualifying and the race. So, in terms of setup, it's going to be very interesting to see who gets it right into qualifying, since they're going to have no data from today in practice. But now, without further ado, let's go into the qualifying report. After rain throughout practice sessions, no one knew what to expect as qualifying at the Sepang International Circuit was about to begin. It was another tricky session for the Manamarushas as they once again filled up the back row. Toro also endured a mixed session. Carlos Sainz Jr. was able to get into Q3 whilst Max Verstappen could only manage a shocking 18th. Sauber endured a mixed session. Felipe Nasser put an amazing performance to qualify in 7th, whilst Marcus Ericsson endured an average session in 17th. It was another disappointing session for Lotus, as neither car could make into Q3. On the other hand, it was a good session for McLaren, as both cars were able to get into Q2. The underpowered Renault engine was continuing to hurt Red Bull, as Ricciardo could only manage 8th with Kvyat 14th. Sergio Perez once again impressed in his 14th, just qualifying 6th, whilst Nico Hulkenberg could only manage 13th. Williams endured an average session as Massa qualified in 5th with Bottas in 10th. It was the two Ferraris that locked out the second row with Vettel at right end. But at the front, it was no surprise to see Mercedes lock out the front row, but it was Nico ahead of Lewis. The scene was set for what was set to be an entertaining Malaysian Grand Prix.
Good afternoon and welcome from Sepang for what is going to be a fascinating race. It's the Malaysia Grand Prix. Pole position can only be secured by one driver, and the lucky gentleman goes by the name of Nico Rosberg this weekend. You wouldn't bet against the German driver pressing his Mercedes to victory today.
He's definitely going to be difficult to beat today, but anything can happen, so we'll have to keep a close eye on how this unfolds over the course of the race.
Felipe Massa looks to have the edge over Valtteri Bottas this weekend. He'll be hoping to cement that by finishing ahead of his teammate in today's race.
Felipe has been looking quick this weekend, and if he can carry that into today's race, he could be on for a good result. As for Valtteri, he wasn't looking comfortable with his setup yesterday, and we'll hope it works better for him over the long stints today.
So obviously, Checo is now sitting on the grid, getting ready to get underway here at the Sepang International Circuit. It's going to be an interesting race to check the strategy over cars to look. But we have the lights in Malaysia. Lights out and away we go. At the front it looks like the two Mercedes have got a good launch. As they head up towards the first corner as Perez goes to the inside. You can see Felipe Massa on the inside. Sergio Perez darts to the inside, and he's going to outbrake Felipe Massa and Kimi Räikkönen getting into turn 1. He's on the inside of Sebastian Vettel as they enter turn 2, but Felipe Massa has the inside, and Perez gets forced onto the grass. Go on, guys, don't do a Canada last year. Obviously those two have history, but Perez still running in 5th place as they head up towards turn 4, and Massa's very slow on exit, and Checo is able to get through. So Sergio Perez is in 4th place at the moment, and so it's been a decent start for him, but let's see if he can defend all these positions later on in the race. Now moving on to lap 3. Here you can see Felipe Massa is right behind Sergio Perez as they head into the first corner. In the braking zone, Perez outbrakes himself, and this is allowing Felipe Massa down the inside, and it seems Massa has made that move stick, and he is up into P4 ahead of Sergio Perez. Now here we're looking at Marcus Ericsson. Oh, someone's had an engine failure ahead, and oh, there's been this. I think that's a Red Bull and a McLaren. That's Danny Kvyat and Fernando Alonso coming together. Alonso just got caught off guard. Now we've got Felipe Massa and Valtteri Bottas and Carlos Sainz. A massive collision there, and they've all spun. Are they all going to get going again? They're all just waiting for a safe time to rejoin. They have all rejoined, but that was not part of the plan for any of them. Anyway, here we're looking at Kimi Räikkönen as they head down the straight. He's now got the inside line on Sergio as they head into the final corner. Sergio's on the inside. Now Kimi comes into the pits for his first scheduled stop. A lap later, Checo immediately responds to that, and he is pitted. This is going to be for a new set of option tyres, which is obviously going to give him some pace, which he lacked in the second stint in Australia. Obviously, what Force India and Checo didn't want was that to happen again, him to lose positions like he did in Australia. They put a set of option tyres on, the white marked medium tyres, as he exits the pits. But there's Kimi Räikkönen, and I think he is ahead of Sergio Perez. And Kimi Räikkönen is ahead, and that is absolutely crucial for the Ferrari driver. But bad for Sergio Perez. Now later in the lap, as you can see though, Räikkönen is being held up by both Mana Marussia cars. As Räikkönen has DRS, he's going to go for the outside of Will Stevens as they now head into the final corner. But Perez gets down the inside of the pair of them. What a move from Sergio Perez. Now he's got Roberto Merri ahead of him. Is he going to be able to make the move stick as they head into turn 1? He's got DRS and the overpowered Mercedes engine. Obviously, for Mana are using last year's engine, and he has made that move stick. Anyway, that's Lewis Hamilton, one of the race leaders. He's off. He's spun. Here we're looking at a replay as to what happened on the outside of the Sauber. I believe that's Marcus Ericsson, and oh, contact is made. Anyway, in the meantime, heading into the yellow flag zone, Perez is trying to defend from Räikkönen. Obviously, the yellow flags did come on as soon as whilst Perez was ahead. Braking late now, Perez has managed to defend this quite well. You what? What, Co-Masters? Now you're basically making me have to relinquish a position. Well, you got that one correct, Co-Masters. Well done. This is a brilliant game, isn't it? Everyone's going to love it. Anyway, moving on now. Lewis Hamilton did actually eventually have to retire later in the race. And now moving on to lap 12. And but Sergio has cut the corner and he's got himself a 3-second time penalty, which is not past the plan. He now enters the pit lane. Obviously on the limiter, this must feel like an age as a driver. Is he going to hit his marks properly? Yep, he is. And he's away. Let's see where he's going to go. Where he's going to feed out. He is out in P11 at the moment, ahead of Ricciardo, who I believe will end up behind the Lotus, as you're about to see. He's behind the Lotus of Roman Grosjean as they head into the first corner. Hulkenberg gets to the pits in front. Ricciardo has made that move stick. Now he's right behind Nico Hulkenberg. Let's see how quickly he's going to be able to pass the Force India, and I think he's going to do it quite quickly. And he has made the move stick. Now he's right behind Sergio Perez as they head down towards the first corner. Is he going to be able to make the move stick? Perez is able to defend for now, but he's got the inside now going into 2, and I think he's now fully defended the position, so Sergio Perez is ahead. So Ricciardo has not quite managed to make that move stick, but he's actually pitted at the end of that lap. So that is interesting. Now, moving on to a few laps later, obviously Perez has had to stay out a few extra laps just to make those tyres last. You've got Valtteri Bottas on his inside. But Perez pits and Bottas actually follows him in for a new set of tyres. So let's see how we are going to get this stop. Into the pits. He's going to hit his box now. A new set of option tyres, and that's why we stayed out so long, so we can get a set of options at the end of the race. Let's see where we're going to come out. And we're going to come out in 5th, but we need to make ourselves at least a 3-second gap back to Valtteri Bottas in order to end up ahead of him. We also need to pass Button as well, see if we can get a higher position as well. We also need to extend the 3-second gap there. Now we're behind Jenson Button. We'd caught him up. Obviously Button's not in as quick a car. He's obviously on old tyres. It should be easy. Now heading into the complex. And what are you doing? He completely brake checks us. And now we have lost a lot of time there. And now here you can see Kimi Raikkonen. And oh, he's come together with Roberto Merri. And they both have spun. And he's been collected by a Red Bull. We should get a better angle of where the Red Bull got involved. As you can see, what was Roberto Merri doing there? He just completely cut across. And there is where Daniel Ricciardo got involved. Wow, it all went off there, didn't it? A massive collision. A catastrophe. Down the straight. Now here we're on board with Nico Hulkenberg. And you can see the train that Mary's stricken car is leading, obviously on his way back to the pit. Why are they all going on the grass? And Hulkenberg's hit Merri. I don't know what Roberto Merri's doing here. And now here is Kimi Raikkonen trying to rejoin. And he's hit Hulkenberg and he's out of the race. As here's Nico Rosberg about to take the victory. But he's hit Roberto Merri's slowing car. What is Roberto Merri doing here? It's awful driving from Roberto Merri. I don't know what he's doing. As you can see, I don't know why he's on the race line. This means Sebastian Vettel, this was the last lap. And Sebastian Vettel's going to take victory here in Malaysia. Sebastian Vettel wins in Malaysia. What an interesting finish that was. As here is Sergio Perez, who's going to finish the race in 5th place. Just ahead of Valtteri Bottas, but that penalty is going to cost him that position. He gets out of the car, disappoints, I'm pretty sure. What an interesting race. We're now looking at the result. We finished in 5th place. As you can see, Max Verstappen did a good drive from 18th on the grid to finish in 7th. Jensen Button in that McLaren Honda 6th. But wow, that was an interesting race. How much action took place there in Malaysia. As still, I don't know why the game is saying he had a dominant drive, because it wasn't. But here, looking at the drivers' standings, we're in 6th in the standings at the moment, as you can see. Obviously, quite a few drivers yet to score, including our teammate, who's been quite unlucky. But anyway, it's been Matt T Gaming HD. We'll see you for my next video.